Donald Trump entered the courtroom, and this courtroom is fairly narrow and small as it's set up. So he had to walk right past Carroll, who was sitting at the front corner of a table. There was a seat across an aisle that could have placed Donald Trump right next to her, just an aisle separating them about 3 feet. He instead chose to walk to the far end of that table and sit at that seat, so giving himself some space between her. There appeared to be no eye contact between the two. Trump sitting during this hearing, which lasted less than 30 minutes, just facing forward, watching the arguments there. His lawyers went on for about 10 minutes. Then Carroll's lawyers started their arguments here. Now, Trump's lawyers are trying to get a new trial in this case, saying that the trial judge made mistakes, including by allowing the Access Hollywood tape to be played before the jury. On that tape, Trump is caught on that hot mic saying how he gropes women and grabs them without their permission. Now, they also said that the testimony of 2 other women who came forward and said that Trump had assaulted them, one in the 1970s on an airplane and another one down at Mar-a-Lago, they were allowed to testify in this case. Trump's lawyers saying that that shouldn't have been permitted. Now, as they began to address the judge, his attorney John Sawyer started talking about how this was the quintessential he said, she said, saying that there was no DNA evidence, no police report. One of the appellate judges cut him off and said, we're here to talk about challenges to the evidence, not about the other arguments that they want to make about the case. So he tried to ring this lawyer in and get him to focus on the evidentiary arguments that they're making. And the judge telling the attorney that in fact it's very difficult to overturn a trial judge's decision on evidence rulings. So really trying to get him to focus in on these arguments. Part of the arguments that Trump's lawyers were making is that in the 1970s, it wasn't a crime to sexually assault someone on an airplane. Well, when Carroll's lawyer got up, she said it was a crime to assault anybody on an airplane, and so that should stand. That should be evidence that comes in. So just a lot of back and forth over that evidence, whether these 2 women should have been allowed to testify. The judges ended the hearing without making any decision. That will come in due course. Often takes weeks or maybe even months. Donald Trump did not answer any questions by reporters as he left the courtroom. He was in there, though, for just under 30 minutes, and his motorcade has already left as he's making his way back to Trump Tower.